Whiskey 9, 7 November, interrogative Alpha Bravo. Negative Alpha Bravo. And this is 7 November Golf. Roger, request you check your Romeo side. I'll go ahead and check my Tango side. 7 November Golf out. November 8-5, and 8-5, 7 November, say again. 7 November, go. I copied a while ago, 1 Charlie transmission that my can use November, go. 1 Charlie, neither do I. And 8-5, this is 7 November, Charlie. 8-5, right now. Now 1 Charlie, 7 November, go.
This is 1 Charlie, reference to your last, you're Brandon 158, extra 5 stop, 1200 between teams, that's local. Also request your unit take extra records to see if we can try to get Whiskey 9 and 8. Come on, this is the playground.
And this is 7 November, Roger, stand by.
Got that.
Got it? Alright. And all units, this is 7 November Golf. My unit Alpha, Echo, X-ray Alpha Alpha in there.
One Charlie, Alpha Bravo.
Hey, I never took a dip.
Whiskey 9, 7 November, interrogative Alpha Bravo. Whiskey 9, Yankee, 7 November Golf, over. Whiskey 9, 7 November, interrogative Alpha Bravo. Whiskey 9, Yankee, 7 November Golf, over. Whiskey 9, 7 November, interrogative Alpha Bravo. Negative Alpha Bravo. And this is 7 November Golf. Roger, request you check your Romeo side. I'll go ahead and check my Tango side. 7 November Golf out. November 8-5, and 8-5, 7 November, say again. 7 November, go.
All right, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another live stream. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Y'all know the deal. Drop your questions in the chat, and I'll ask them, or I'll answer them. You ask the questions, I'll answer them. Drop them in the chat for me, and preferably about benefits, but honestly, it can be about anything. Also, I'm trying a new mic placement. I messed with the buttons on here. If I sound loud and clear and smooth, let me know. If I don't, just blow up my chat and tell me I sound like a cat or something, okay? But starting off strong, we got Tom Darko. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream. Let's see. I had my pension taken away. Okay, so pension is different from disability compensation. I was denied tinnitus and hearing loss in 2012, and in 23, I was granted tinnitus and only got back pay for a couple months at 20%. Pension now $2,300 and change. Okay. Congress rep said because I made more now because my tinnitus. Yeah. So pension is based off, one of the factors it's based off of is how much you make. And that would definitely could potentially harm your pension benefits. Now, I'll tell you this straight up. Am I an expert at pension? Absolutely not at all. I would definitely have to look into this a bit more to actually give you any advice. I don't really see a question though. So if you have a question, Tom, let me know. But definitely feel free to send me an email, TheCivDiv@gmail.com. I'll have to dig a little deeper into this. But I do know there are some monetary restrictions to this. And I'm assuming you fell into that category. John Erickson says, if you have anxieties or migraines listed on your medical records, you can link them to tinnitus as secondary. Maybe. Okay, you could. Absolutely. think that's outside of what his pension question is, John, but you're absolutely right. Those are common secondaries, anxiety and migraines, especially if you have a current diagnosis of those two. And then more importantly, if your doctor's notes are basically linking them to your tinnitus, that'd be a good start. USMC Big B, happy 4th, brother. Happy 4th to everyone. It's Independence Day tomorrow, red, white, and blue. I got some fireworks stuff planned for the kids. We'll probably, bring the pool out back, have some hamburgers, some hot dogs. Just do American stuff, be free. Be free for a day. All right. Let me make sure. All right. I sound good. Awesome. I do sound good. Hopefully I look good too. Okay. For us older veterans, first Gulf War era. Okay. So Desert Shield, Desert Storm, early 90s. How do we overcome the disadvantage of not having evidence for mental health related issues? I have in-service stressors, diagnosis, but no complaints in service. It just wasn't a thing back then to complain or talk about mental health. Yeah, I tell you what, Shaolin Funk, it's not a thing today. At least not in the Marine Corps, it's not. Let's see, I never heard of PTSD till a few years ago, but holy cow, do I have all the symptoms? Thanks for everything, Clay. All right, to answer your question, is if you have the stressor, for instance, like a combat entry badge or combat action badge or combat action ribbon, you could absolutely submit that claim. You have the in-service event, you have a current diagnosis, you do need the Nexus, which the CMP examiner can probably give. Now, I want to warn you, we're talking about a significant time gap here. And so I want to know what your care looks like from Gulf War era to now. If I had to take a wild guess, probably none. So that might cause you to be denied on continuous and chronic. But you could submit that claim if you wanted to. Now, if you did have zero evidence from then to now, you could get an independent medical opinion. And I generally shy away from recommending an opinion off the bat. But in your case, having a 30-year time gap, you might want to consider getting a medical opinion from Dr. Sharma. I'll go ahead and put his contact info down below. But do with that what you will. Okay. Do I think you can submit the claim without it? Absolutely. Could it be denied? Yes, it can for many reasons. But if you wanted to be proactive, you could go ahead and reach out to this email below that I just posted up. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Hopefully that answered your question, Shaolin Bunk. All right. Jamie, it's difficult to get chronic fatigue syndrome service connect, or is it difficult? You have a diagnosis. My doc diagnosed me with fatigue. I've heard it can be service connected, and it's hard. Yeah, I mean, it's not easy for that one specifically. I'm getting my personal statement ready. Okay. I can also file for fibromyalgia and maybe get that service connected since it's similar to chronic fatigue syndrome. So, Jamie, one, are you a Gulf War era veteran, first Gulf War, like Shaolin Funk over here? Because if so, fibromyalgia is presumptive. You could argue that. And in my experience, a lot of old timers that have fibro also have chronic fatigue syndrome. I kind of see those paired almost one for one. Almost, and that's just from looking at tons of veterans from that era. But yeah, I think you definitely, if you have a current you have a diagnosis of fatigue, you could absolutely submit that, especially if you are a first Gulf War era veteran. If not, that kind of changes things a bit. So kind of clarify that for me in the chat, if you will. Eli Riddle says, thank you, Clayton, for helping our fellow veterans and myself as well. Thank you very much, Eli. My son's name is Eli. I like that name. How long does it take to get a rating decision after VBA grants for service connection for mental health? Yeah. So great question. You're going to hate my answer, but there's not a single person on this planet that can answer that question accurately. And so there's tons of factors that go into that, right? Which are, what is your evidence like? Did you give the evidence to the VA, or does the VA have to go through your evidence and get it themselves? So that's some time with that. Then you have your CMP examiner. Is this a denial? Is it an initial claim? I assume it's an initial claim. That's a factor. Depending on the severity of those symptoms, depending on what mental health disability we're talking about. Are we talking about PTSD, depression, anxiety, insomnia? Is it military sexual trauma? Those become factors. The biggest factor, though, Eli, is going to be your evidence, what you submitted, and if it is that fully developed claim, okay? And so we've seen on this channel from Dr. Sharma, we've seen claims go, I think 8 days, maybe 6 days from start to finish. And then obviously we've seen claims go, 6 to 8 months. And so it really depends on what your evidence was. And so if you want to tell me what your evidence is down below, I could probably give a better answer to you for that one. But as of right now, yeah, man. Also, Eli, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate it, brother. As we all know, all donations for this stream go right back to the channel. 100% of them. Okay. After YouTube's cut. So, all right. LG says, hey, LG, longtime fan of the show. What's up, man? He says, bro, Clay, recently claimed plantar fasciitis secondary to my flat feet, but they combined it and continued my 50% rating. Is that normal? How can I get it separated? LG is absolutely normal. And I will say this, 50% for bilateral foot condition, which I assume that's what it is. I would not touch that again. I would stop with your feet personally. That's a very high rating for your feet, and it's a bilateral rating, which is great. And yes, it's absolutely normal for them to combine it. What you could look into, LG, is maybe your ankles, right? So your ankles will prevent range of motion. That could be a second, different rating. Oh, excuse me. Chick-fil-A sweet tea right here. Yeah, your ankles could be a rating from that, and stemming up from your feet would be your knees, your hips, your back, obviously. But as far as to answer your question goes, you cannot have that separated, and those will be the same. But foot conditions and ankle conditions are really probably the way I would attack that. If I remember, you are high 90s. And so now that you've had, I believe, LG, you've had all your claims come back, feel free to send me an email, man, and we can kind of talk, look at what you have, and maybe squeeze out those last few percentages. All right. We have tons of chats, guys. All right. Let's get right onto this. I will get to that super chat here in a second. All right, John Erickson, with foot conditions, do they give separate ratings for each foot or one rating for both feet if it's on both feet or high? Yeah, so the answer to your question, John, is both. Okay. You also said LG bro. I think they changed lower the rating for a condition. I would try challenge 50. No, I would actually advise against that. 50% for a bilateral foot condition, which I'm assuming, LG, it is bilateral plantar fasciitis. If that's the case, leave it alone. And to get at John's point, yes, you can, especially if you have, your left foot's flat, but then you have policeman heels on your right foot. Then you can get kind of two different ratings for that. Ultimately, 50% bilateral rating is very, very solid. I would not touch that at all. All right. Tony Farrar says, my VSO didn't submit some of my evidence. Holy shit. Okay. Sorry, guys. You'll see why I said that here in a second. Thank you so much, brother. I don't even know you're gonna. Okay. My evidence with my claim. My VSO didn't submit some of my evidence with my claim. I decided to resubmit all of my evidence. Do you think I shot myself in the foot? Worst case, they are just going through duplicate dots. No, I don't think you shot yourself in your foot. Now, I'll be straight with you. Is that the best option? Probably not. In a very perfect world, you would have known what was submitted and what wasn't submitted. Then you could have submitted that. I would like to know your VSO's thought process on what was not submitted. I've heard some weird things VSOs do that personally I probably won't agree with, but I would at least like to hear their thought process on that. But to answer your question, I think you're fine. Does it suck that they have duplicates? Yes. But they'll go through the evidence. And Tony, in your decision letter, you're going to be able to see exactly what evidence they reviewed, and they're going to list it out. Okay, I've seen evidence that they reviewed be about this long, and I've seen evidence reviewed almost be a page or two. All right. And so take note of what you submitted, and then take note of if you're denied, then look at what evidence they reviewed. And then that would basically prompt you to either do an HLR, assuming your evidence is solid and maybe they missed something, or a supplemental claim. On that note, the majority of higher level reviews do side with the previous decision. All right. So don't think the HLR is like your end-all saving grace, but they are there for a reason, right? To find duty to assist errors. Maybe they just completely disagree with the VSR, whatever that looks like. Veterans advocate, guys, I don't even know what to say. Makes me feel weird. Trying, not let my eyes water. Something in the room here. Dude, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Let me scroll down to make sure you didn't say anything with this, because that's absolutely insane. I never thought that would happen. He says, not to be disruptive, just to let you know how much I appreciate you, Clay. Keep it fire. Hey, dude, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it, brother. I will absolutely do my best to live up to that as much as I possibly can. Again, thank you for real. Okay. Moving down. All right. Jordan Brown says, I have separate ratings on each foot. Yeah. So it depends, right? USC Big B says, what's up, y'all? Happy 4th. Happy 4th of July to everyone early. I'm on the East Coast, so here in about 3 hours and 45 minutes, it'll be July 4th. Got some happy works. Got some fireworks playing with the kids. We'll see what happens. Happy 4th, everyone. Jordan Brown, thank you very much. Scott Mosley, I think I said that right. Explain DBQs we file or give to a private physician. Yeah, so DBQs, a disability benefits questionnaire. You know what? I will share my screen, actually. Let's do that right now. And I will show you, I'll show you where to go get a DBQ. And sometimes in my chat, I say, hey, Clay, I see people say that, you always okay, hold your horses. Sometimes people in the chat say, Clay, you say the same things over and over again. And you would be right, but I'm telling y'all, there's a new veteran born each and every day, and it's important that they understand exactly where to go to get the information. And now that I got my stuff together and I'm not looking like an idiot, now I can actually show you where DBQs are, right? So look up DBQ VA. It'll say public DBQs. Click this. And this is where you find all the DBQs. Just scroll down a bit, and you can find all of these. We'll click on, let's say, the back. The back is a bit large. Let's do mental disorders. And this is what a DBQ is, okay? And Scott, I will go ahead and answer your question. So basically, a DBQ, it determines the severity of your symptoms, right? This is copy-paste 38 CFR language here. It asks some more questions specific to mental health disorders. And then here are your symptoms by the numbers. Keep going down. There's a remarks section in here. You're going to want to look at evidence. You're going to want them to review your diagnosis. And then most importantly, you're going to want them to add a Nexus statement in here. That's most important, in my opinion, in the remarks section. Now, to answer your question, which is explain DBQs we file or give it to a private physician. So, Scott, if your primary provider, let's say at the VA or through private health insurance, If they want to complete a DBQ for you for free, that's absolutely awesome, especially if it is a physician, like a medical doctor. That would be great. So you would have them do that for your condition. Then you just submit it through Quick Submit. Okay. Now, in my experience, it's pretty much a coin flip on whether the VA healthcare, your provider, will do the DBQ or not. And then we talk about going outside to a private provider for DBQ. That usually costs money. And I'm saying this up front. I would only recommend that if, one, you've been denied multiple times, okay? And this is important now, and the DBQ will combat the reason for denial, right? Now, usually if you're going to do a DBQ and a supplemental, you're probably going to have an opinion with that because you're going to need to combat the nexus. It really depends, Scott, on your conditions, why you were denied. But assuming you weren't denied and you just want to submit a DBQ up front, you can do that. You don't have to at all. I actually wouldn't recommend it to anyone. But heck, if you have the money and you want to just get it over with, I've seen people get it over with that way as well. So hopefully I answered your question. Hopefully we learned something today. All right. Greg Free says, how do you find your diagnosis in My Healthy Vet? All right. I will get to the other. Man, you guys are crazy today. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate that. All right. How do you find your diagnosis in My Healthy Vet? Okay, so looking through your notes, your medical records, okay, your blue button report, you'll see ICD, which is International something code for disease, International Classification of Diseases, ICD. International Classification of Diseases. That is a formal diagnostic code recognized by the medical community at large. You'll also see these things called SCTs. I forgot what that stands for. But those would serve as like formal complaints, if you will. Not a specific diagnosis, but that's where you'd find them, Craig. Now, where at in your records? So it depends. It certainly depends on where you're at, okay? And so sometimes in a perfect world, you'll have a part of your documents will basically just be a sheet of problem. It's like a problem list sheet, but for formal diagnosis. In the remarks section, it'll say when you were diagnosed, right? So let's say you have left knee pain, you get a diagnosis for whatever. It'll say diagnosed, June 23, whatever that looks like. And so you're going to have to scrape your records for that. Or, Greg, in my opinion, you could just ask your provider straight up and to say, hey, can I get a current diagnosis for XYZ? And kind of, they're your primary care. So play that. Yeah. And see, I see you see SCT. Absolutely. All right. Play that fiddle. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Let's get to our super chats first, guys. We will definitely come back. So Vanessa, thank you so much, Vanessa. I appreciate that. Happy 4th to you and yours. Happy 4th to everyone. It's Independence Day. I want everyone to wear their red, white, and blue. I'm going to wear a blue shirt that has a bad word on it. Okay. I'm sorry. The word America is on there along with some other stuff. But, it's America. We're going to have hamburgers, hot dogs. We're going to get to pull out, probably buy one of those really cheap, unsafe fireworks box sets and have fun with the kids. That's what we're going to do. And Angela B with the $20 super sticker. Thank you so much, guys. All donations from the stream always go back into the channel. Let's scroll down to make sure Angela doesn't want to ask something. I would hate to skip over that. All right, let me look for Angela. Angela. Okay, I see you. I also see you, Vanessa. I'm going to go back to that too. All right. Way to go, Veteran Time. Yeah, it's insane. This is insane. I don't even know what to say. Okay. Angela says, do not feel weird. Oh, thank you very much. I definitely appreciate that. I try to give y'all the best product, which is just publicly available information. Okay. Can you Google everything that comes out of my mouth? Absolutely. But if you don't know, you don't know. All right. And Angela, I saw yours. Let's take a look at this. I received a VA toxic exposure letter in the mail. If I want to process a new claim, I have one of the conditions I claim for IBS. Should I inform Dr. Sharma when I have my Nexus appointment? So based on what you said here, you're probably talking about a presumptive condition. I'm assuming, and I'm really going to guess here, correct me if I'm wrong, Vanessa. I'm assuming you're trying to go for IBS secondary to mental health, which is why you mentioned Dr. Sharma here. If that's not correct, please let me know. I'm going to go down that route though. If you meet Pact Act criteria, you can do IBS direct. Okay, you're going to want to get a current diagnosis for IBS through your primary care. Once you have that current diagnosis, submit that IBS claim direct. It would be okay to do so. In fact, what you'll often see is people that do IBS secondary claims, the VA CMP examiner will also, or the VA will look into direct service connection anyways, regardless of whatever it is that you claimed it under, because you are a Pact Act veteran, right? So I definitely made some assumptions there. If any of that's incorrect, just let me know, and then we can kind of rehash that as I get back. Okay. Back up to the top here, right? Hello to all my brothers and sisters. Keep fighting the fight. That's right. Don't stop. Don't stop fighting, right? Funny because I posted a video today about, when do you stop or when are we satisfied? Not every veteran's 100%. So that looks different for all of us. G. Malone, I have a question. All right. You came to the right spot. When someone separates from active duty, when will they see any form of disability pay? All right, G. Malone, two scenarios here. One, you submitted a BDD claim. That's what I would want every active duty service member to do within 180 to 90 days out. And hypothetically, okay, and I mean really hypothetically, that transitioning service member is supposed to leave active duty one day and the very next have their rating in hand and then start receiving disability pay on the next first of the month. All right. Now, does that always happen? It does not. Tons of factors go into that. Evidence is one of them. How many things did they claim? Their availability for CMP exams, tons of things. And so that's one scenario. The second scenario, G. Malone, is let's say they didn't submit a BDD claim, which is they didn't, shame. Okay, but not the end of the world. If they didn't submit a BDD claim, you have to wait till you're out of service. And I would say get that claim submitted as soon as you possibly can. And anything else you want to claim within that 1 year window, preferably. And you're going to hate this answer, but there's not a single person on this planet that can give you an accurate answer as to when your claim will be finished at all. I know that answer sucks, but no one can answer that there's no one can give you an accurate answer. It just kind of is what it is. Roundabout, okay, on average, if you leave service within that first year, you submit your claims, I would say 4 to 5 months on average. Can it be shorter? Yes, probably not. Can it be longer? It absolutely can. Nothing crazy like a year. I would, as a safety net, probably like 5 to 7 months as a safety net. Ideally 4, though. All right, 5x5. I don't even know what that's in reference to. Let me go. Who is this? Proverbs. Yeah. 5x5 back at you. It's 25. That's the answer. Okay. Oh, maybe you're asking me a question because I said ask me anything you want. It's 5 times 5. It's 25, brother. That's the answer. Okay. Angela B says, hello, Clay. You rock. Hey, thank you again, Angela, for that super sticker. Where's it at? There it is. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Tracy Barthel says, sounds good. Awesome. Fictionator. Hey, these two have been they have emailed me. I hope to both of you. Okay. I'm looking forward to your claim progress. Please keep me in the loop. B-Buck says, hey, B-Buck, if you're on right now, and I won't really say too much, this is the e-tool I was talking about. Now, this is really nasty. I haven't washed it. B-Buck knows what we're talking about here. He's going to, ooh, that was loud. hopefully help me on a project I'm working on. If anyone's wondering, that's the e-tool I used in Syria to dig a lot of holes, and I broke it. So I kind of kept it. I never washed it, and I probably have cancer on my hands right now. So, okay, that's bad. All right, back to why the stream matters. Behind closed doors says, I am rated 70% for anxiety and depression disorder. I sent a supplemental claim for secondary insomnia. I don't see another chat from you, so I just assume there's no question to this. I will say this, though. Generally speaking, okay, I say 9.8 times out of 10, at 7% mental health rating, I just wouldn't touch it at all. I definitely wouldn't claim insomnia as secondary, and so insomnia is going to be roped together with that. The only time I would recommend someone to do this is for everyone here. Let's say you were at 30% for depression and anxiety. You were also diagnosed with insomnia. Your insomnia pushes you to that 57% rating so you can get an increase. Then I would just claim insomnia. At 70%, assuming your insomnia doesn't cause you to basically have 100%, have gross impairment at 100% and lose total occupational and social functions, I probably wouldn't have recommended that. Now, if it does, I wish you the best, and please correct me if it does, because I definitely want to wish you the best. All right, Eli Riddle, thank you for that. Okay, let's see. Scrolling down, guys, we have another one. Hold on. I'm going to answer this, and we have another one. All right, my friend is 100% PNT, got 70% for PTSD. Is it true they still do follow-ups with mental health claims for 6 months after separating from service? One, that's not true at all. I don't know where that came from. Two, it depends on, never mind. It doesn't depend because he's PNT. That answer is no. One, it's not true. Two, the 2 to 5 years of reevaluation, not true. And again, none of that applies to them specifically, to your friend, because they are permanent and total. And although YouTube might tell you that the VA is going to take their rating back, as long as you kind of just don't mess with it, and as long as you don't tell the VA that you've magically been cured of all your disabilities, you're going to be fine, right? YouTube kind of likes to ruffle those feathers a bit for some views, but don't worry about it. Don't sweat it too much. Your friend is going to be fine. All right. As far as disability goes, right? Definitely seek healthcare. All right. Jordan Brown, thank you so much. I appreciate this. He says, thank you for all you do for veterans. Have a great 4th. Hey, thank you so much. You have a great 4th. Happy 4th to you and yours. I hope everyone likes Will Smith. Well, not the person. If you do, that's fine. If you don't, whatever. I meant watching Independence Day. I should have said that. Okay. Let's scroll down to where we were at, which is somewhere almost there. Right here. Okay. Okay, Haynes. Oh, he just said they said the same thing twice. All right. I'm sorry. Ninja 100 Kid, 2 Ds. If you are 100% PNT, can you go to Voc Rehab? Absolutely. Voc Rehab doesn't have any monetary restrictions on it. If you are 100% PNT, the likelihood of you needing VRNE is probably higher than most. Probably. So absolutely, you can do that. You can apply for that. It's a fairly easy process. Now, I've heard that the caseworkers for that, I think they're called caseworkers, whoever works that, they may not be as responsive as you want them to be. But absolutely, to answer your question, yes, you can. All right, Fred Christie says, howdy from North Carolina. What's up? Quad bypass is doing good, still recovering, but in for heart condition to Cop D, waiting on CMP exams. I'm glad it went well. I'm glad you're recovering. That definitely sucks, dude. Keep me posted on that. Absolutely. All right. Chadrick Middleton says, my agency provides TDIU vocational evaluations. We do mental health. Boo. No, I'm kidding. Try not to, advertise your own stuff. I guess that's my fault for clicking on it. But hey, man, if you want to reach out to me directly, Chadwick Middleton, my email's open. I'm always down to collab. I'm always down to set up. If you can help me and I can help you, I'm down for that. That goes for any veteran that has a small owned business. If you look at my descriptions, you'll see I have one of my friends' Instagram accounts. He does stand-up comedy. He's a veteran. So if I can support veteran-ran businesses, I absolutely will. Veteran-ran is going to be key, though. And I'll do that for free. Okay. I'm sorry, Jordan Brown. My brother's 100%, but not PNT. He got a reduction letter for failing to attend. Yeah, that will do it. I told him to request a hearing to buy time. What else should he do? What is that reduction letter for? The first thing he needs to do is identify what it's for and then go get evidence, okay, immediately. And in this case, he might want to consider a DBQ for that. It just really depends on what that reduction is for. Also, I want you to take your hand, open palm, and slap him really hard for missing his reevaluation. Or routine future exam. Okay. That's not good. It's not good. All right. Secret sauce. Jordan, also, I was joking there. Have him send me an email too, and I'll definitely help him out specifically. All right. Could you vary diagnosis in your SDR or be service connected? Could you vary diagnosis? I don't know. Maybe I missed some secret sauce. Ask that question again. Oh, okay. Here we go. Could every diagnosis in your service treatment record be service connected? Potentially, yes. All right. There's a few things going on with that. One, just because your knee hurt in service doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be service connected, right? It means you have one of the three. So you still need a current diagnosis of that. Also, what is your prior service history like? And so, then you would have to argue that the military aggravated or worsened this condition, which you could do that. A lot of veterans do that. But theoretically speaking, secret sauce, that answer is yes. In reality, it depends. I hate saying it depends, but that's the answer, man. All right, USMC Big B, 51 watching, only 12 likes, small thumbs up for y'all. What else do you get for free? Hey, tell him, Big B. Guys, like the stream. I would greatly appreciate it. Like my videos. I would definitely appreciate that. It helps me personally. And then at large, it helps the community. The more likes the video has, the more YouTube wants to push it out to veterans that need help. Right. And so that's what this whole purpose is for. Just helping veterans. Follow-up question. Okay. A family member passed away with a type cancer that's under the Pact Act. He never documented anything while active duty. Is there anything family could do for assistance? 1, I'm sorry for your loss. All right. 2, I can't answer this right now. What I would want you to do is contact a VSO about this. Okay. And if you want a good VSO, I would go through Dale K. Graham Veterans Foundation specifically for survivor benefits. That's not really my area of expertise, and I do want to give you an answer. I'm just not 100% sure on that, and so I'm going to have to reach out for my own knowledge on that, and I definitely want you to reach out to an expert that deals with survivor benefits. Okay. All right. Ryan K says, I'm at 56% rounded to 60. All right. If I hired a VA lawyer, would they help me with additional 20? The answer is not no. Okay. Ryan, there's a more complicated, there's an intricate answer with this one. One, what are you service connected for? And so what I usually do, not just me, what anyone that has a brain for VA disability will do is first look at increases. Those are super easy. Do you rate the symptoms of a higher rating? Yes or no? I'm burping a lot, guys. Sorry. Number 2, look at common secondaries. do you have do you experience any symptoms of secondaries that could be connected to the primary service connected condition? And then thirdly, what have you been denied for? You mentioned VA lawyer, so I assume you have a few denials. And so I want to know what you've been denied, and I want to know why you were denied. Then you would have to get evidence specifically to combat the why. And not a dig against lawyers, but if you email me, Ryan K, all of that stuff, and if you forget, just send me an email and I'll just type it to you in an email. I will help you out for free. You don't have to pay, 20% of your back pay for that. But if you want to get a lawyer, feel free to absolutely do so. All right, Michael Stout, we have another one. Yes, we do. And it's, okay, I'll get to that in about 1 second. You guys are absolutely killing me. All right. Just diagnosed with allergic rhinitis, but have been out since 2010. Is that a presumptive claim or should it be a secondary? It is presumptive, Michael Stout, assuming you fall under Pact Act criteria. Now, you got out at 2010, so I'm assuming you have maybe an Iraq, Afghan deployment, Somalia, Saudi Arabia, UAE. I'm trying to go through all the countries. You know what? I will do? I'll just make this easy on you, and we'll do this together, guys. We'll go on over to Gunny Google. I'm teaching everyone here how to fish, all right? And so I want everyone to pay attention. Let me change my layout so you can actually see what we're doing here, and I'll take the comment off. All right, we're at Google. We're looking at Pact Act VA, and you left service in 2010. And so here I'm going to scroll down. Is it this one? Yep. How do I know? There we go. So on or after September 11, 2010, if you're in Afghan, Djibouti, Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, Uzbekistan, Yemen, or the airspace. And then on or after August 2nd of 1990, Bahrain, Iraq, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi, Somalia, UAE, in the airspace. And so if that's you, which I'm assuming it is, Michael Stout, all you have to do is submit the claim. You have the current diagnosis. You would get bonus points if you submitted your file that has the current diagnosis in it. Do quick submit. It'll be a quick CMP exam for symptoms. That's about it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right. Going up to, here we go. It's another big one. Dude, thank you, Reverther. I'm sorry I butchered that. Dude, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Everyone out there, I definitely appreciate it. I'm always blown away by this, and it kind of blows my mind that the channel is kind of at this level. And he says, I want to make sure I cover if you ask anything. I see here it says, thank you for replying to my email. You rock, Semper. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, guys, you can email me. I will answer your emails as fast as I possibly can. Now, my email has been absolutely insane. And Veterans Advocate, I definitely see your comments there. I'm going to have to, you know what? I'll kind of put you on the spotlight. This is an expert right here, FYI. But yes, absolutely. 6 months are rare. Okay, so they are a thing. Mental health is not stable. Yeah, okay. All right, thank you. I appreciate that, Veterans Advocate. Let's go back up to where we were, which is right here. All right. Dwight, how long should I gather evidence, keeping logs and med before filing for migraines as secondary to tinnitus? Off the top of my head, Dwight, I want to say 6 months. I believe that's what's in 38 CFR specifically. It's like 4 to 6 months. And that's in a perfect world, right? If you have like 2 months or 3 months and you've already filed, then hey, it is what it is. Submit that. But if you're going to write out your intent to file and really build your migraine log, I would say 6 months. Now, something that I think, in YouTube did this, okay? Migraine logs are good to have. I'm not saying they're not good, but we have to realize it's a self-report. And if there was like a hierarchy of what matters, there's medical evidence, and then there's self-report, which is like down here below the little chat thing. Okay. And so it is still a self-report. What you could do to strengthen that is to tell your provider, let's say you have a appointment with your provider every 2 months, let them know when you're experiencing migraines, get that log kind of, verbally in evidence so your doctor can write that down. All of a sudden that migraine log carries a bit more weight now versus, Joe Schmo submitting a self-report. Now, self-reports are still considered. They're just not medical evidence. Kind of want to make that delineation real quick. All right, Jamie, Gulf War veteran deployed in Iraq 08. Yeah, so Jamie, I want to say, yeah, so you had the fibromyalgia question there. Send me an email. I'm going to have to go back up and look at that comment. Send me an email and we'll definitely talk about your fibro and your chronic fatigue syndrome. All right, Mac Prevail. Hey, brother, question. If I file for migraines presumptive under the Pact Gulf War illness as undiagnosed illness, do you think they will back pay? Yeah, Mac. So this is a weird question, right? Because you can't. Can migraines be presumptive? Yes, they can. I've seen it. I've seen it a few times. It is kind of weird. And it's not that way for everyone. To be honest with you, migraine presumptive is something that I really don't truly understand as well as I should. But I do know this: you can't say, "Hey, this is presumptive." It's a VA thing, all right. But assuming that they are presumptive, the answer to your question is yes. You'll get the back pay. 9 times out of 10, you'll get the back pay. Back to August 10th of 22. Last year, right? Assuming that the intent to file is done on or before August 9th. Click it. What's up? I like that name. Thank you so much for talking with me today, despite the special circumstance. Hey, no worries. I wish I knew who you were. I don't know of the special circumstance. Unless I'm forgetting something. I don't know. But hey, I appreciate you reaching out. I appreciate you showing up for the meeting. Okay. Believe it or not, people that set, meetings with me, a lot of them don't show up. It's kind of annoying, but whatever. I definitely appreciate you showing up and I hope it helped. Right. The Big Nacho. What's up? Question about sleep apnea claim. All right. A very common, popular claim in the community. If you have prescribed a CPAP while active duty, does that count as a diagnosis, service connection? Yeah. So in this case, I would do a direct sleep apnea claim. I do have some questions on this. When did you get out of service? And how long ago was that CPAP issued or prescribed? You might be required to do another sleep study, but as far as I'm concerned, you have an in-service event for sleep apnea, which is really good in sleep apnea's case. Because then you'd have to go secondary, and secondary sleep apnea claims get a little dicey sometimes. But yeah, you can absolutely do that, especially if that time frame is not a huge time frame, right? Now, if you were given that like in the 80s, yeah, that's a long time ago. If this was somewhat recent, I think it'd be all right. Bro, I just want to let you know this live right on time because I'm feeling defeated tackling VA stuff. Definitely need to link with you, bro. Yeah, LG, long time fan of the show, man. If you email me, I'll definitely get to you. Let me know. We can have a meeting. And I do think you were in the high 90s range. We'll see. We'll see if you claimed everything because I know you did a med board. We'll look at your ratings and about your 50% bilateral foot conditions. Don't touch them. Just don't touch them again. All right, Mac. Gulf War deployed 13, 14, 19, 20. About this. Yeah, so it depends. It absolutely depends. I can tell you the last time I saw migraines presumptive. Let me see if migraines logs. Yep. Okay. Let me see if I want to see if he says anything that I'm missing because I would like some help on this. Okay. The last time I saw migraines presumptive was with a veteran who was an IRAC of 03, and it was through Terra. And that made the migraine presumptive, right? And so it's hard to say right now. But yeah, that's what I got. Okay, Evan Almighty. After I got my 100%, do I still have to go to the VA and seek treatment to keep my rating? No, you don't. You aren't really. I'm going to answer this in two ways. I'll give you answer one. Okay. You are not required to go to VA healthcare at all. Now, it doesn't say P&T, it says 100%. If you're not P&T, I would strongly recommend you do go to healthcare and keep complaining. Because at some point you will have a examination and they will evaluate you. Just like we had the earlier comment where the veteran lost his 100% rating because he missed his exam, which is insane to me. But yeah, I'm always going to recommend healthcare. Never, and this is important for everyone, never let anyone on YouTube tell you not to go to healthcare. Okay? Don't listen to them. Go to healthcare, seek the care you need. Be mindful of what comes out of your mouth for sure, but keep those complaints up, upkeep your medical evidence, and start building your case. All right. Eli says, I emailed you my DBQ. Oh, okay. Yeah. You had the DBQ question earlier, but the board granted me service connected for depression. I had my private doctor and submitted a DBQ last November. I'll definitely get to your email, Eli, for sure. Thanks for doing this. Ice cold. Thank you. All right. 50% for any ortho conditions. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that was a bilateral one as well. All right. Could you show example of submitting financial hardship with current claim with hopes to speed up processing for being behind on bills? Yeah, absolutely. If you look at, I will link a video for you. This is kind of like the best answer I have now. In this video, it talks about, there's a section when you submit your claim online about financial hardships or the risk of being homeless or being currently homeless. That is where you can do it yourself. Now, I'm assuming that ship has already sailed for you. And if that's the case, I want you to go to the VSO, let them know your situation, and then they can go ahead and handle that for you there. In my humble opinion, if you are in that situation, I would do that face-to-face and try to be on top of that as fast as you can, right? I'm definitely sorry to hear about that. How cold, ice cold? All right. They lumped my TBI with PTSD, my migraine, but at 0%. What's the best way to fight it? Yeah, so super common. You'll see TBI and PTSD lumped together, especially when you start talking about the higher symptoms, the higher ratings. Like at 70%, some of the TBI symptoms are in 38 CFR for general rating, and TBI will be lumped into that. Usually, generally speaking, when we see TBI and mental health separated, it's at the lower ends, right? So like a 50% mental health or 30% with like a 10% TBI. Now, obviously, a very severe TBI will be much higher than that. But it is common. As far as your migraines go, you're going to want to build evidence outside of a migraine log. And so talk to your primary care. This goes for any condition. Talk to your primary care. Build the evidence for your migraines. Show the prostrating symptoms when you talk to your primary care. If you truly are having prostrating symptoms and you are lacking medical evidence, go to the ER. Make sure it's a VA ER, okay? Go to the ER. You are service connected for migraines. Go to the ER. Build the evidence. And you'll know when you're having a prostrating migraine, okay? You will absolutely know. Build that evidence. You want 6 months of evidence, in my opinion. That's what I would shoot for those migraines. Thanks. Thank you so much, dude. I'm never not going to feel normal under that. And there we go. That's exactly what I was looking for. Veteran advocate. Thank you very much. Absolutely. Yeah. And so if migraines are going to presumptively, it's under that. And I am going to take a picture of this because I'm going to look into that myself as well. Always be learning. That goes for everyone. Okay. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Okay. Let's roll back up to where we were. Give me a second. Give me a second, guys and gals. Here we are. Angela, thank you. I appreciate that. Alex, Civ, my brother, thank you for helping me. Hey, thank you, Alex, for reaching out. Reach out from whenever you can. Hello from Japan. Jimmy Williams, what's up? For some reason, Jimmy, I want to say that you were in Virginia, but now you're in Japan. Maybe I'm mistaken. I don't know. Let me know if I am mistaken. All right. Again, man, thank you so much. All right, Vanessa, we got you. Alex, Civ, with my case, my VSO put PTSD instead of major depressive disorder. That's the reason why I got denied for migraines. Okay, should I open a claim and claiming migraines for MDD meds or file an appeal? Are you saying that your medication is causing you to have migraines? I think that's what you're saying. I'm going to have to look. I'll re-look at our email traffic, Alex. I do have a few questions on that about the medication. And I want to know what your evidence says outside of medication. Does your provider acknowledge that your medication is causing you to have, I guess, prostrating migraines? That's what you would want in a rating anyways. And if that's the case, I would be surprised that you're still taking them. Right. So that I do have a few questions on that. Shoot me an email for that. Don't feel weird. Yeah, Angela, thank you. I appreciate that. Alex, happy 4th. Thank you. Again, Vanessa, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Angela B, you two are the best. I appreciate it. Right. Holy Inception. Okay. Back to some questions. All right. Laying home, can you tell me what these 2 diagnostic codes are? Yes, I should know 9313. I've looked that up so many times. I think it's if I had to randomly guess, it might be tinnitus. Don't quote me on that, but let's go check it out. H93.13. Go to the Googles. H93.13. I am a freaking genius, y'all. Okay. It's tinnitus. I've looked that one up a lot. F32.alpha. That I don't know what it is, but let's go ahead and check it out. F32.alpha. It's an ICD for depression, so mental health, right? So we're looking at bilateral tinnitus, and then depression unspecified. Okay. All right. But that is how, in case anyone's wondering how you look up your diagnostic codes, that is how you do it. Okay. After I got my 100%, do I have to continue treatment for mental health to keep my rating? No, you don't. Okay. I want to know if that's P&T or not. If it's 100% for mental health, you're going to need to see healthcare. Okay. But if it's not P&T, I'm always just so everyone's very clear here. Okay. I'm never not going to recommend anyone to not seek healthcare. Ever in a billion years. I don't care what disability it's for. I don't care what your rating is. Seek healthcare. It's important, right? Now, specific to benefits, what that looks like is I'm going to say yes. Or do you have to? No, you don't have to. Should you? Yes. Build your medical evidence with that, especially if you're not P&T. All right, Daniel Villalobos, what's up? Have a spot on my lung, was subjected because I was around a lot of asbestos to file. Let me see if you have any other comments that you missed. I'm assuming you're a Vietnam veteran or like an 80s Navy veteran, probably. If that is true, and you do fall under the Pact Act criteria for exposures, I would definitely look into that. But you're going to have a diagnosis, not a spot on my lung. It'll have to be a diagnosis. Okay. JD Min 4, is it normal for VSL submitted claim docs to show up in VBMS significantly sooner than you can see them on the VA site submitted last Sunday? That I don't know. I will say this, generally speaking. One, I don't have VBMS access. I volunteer for Del K Graham. I'm not accredited by Del K Graham. The reason for that is because I'm also a federal employee with the Army, and I can't really double dip. Trust me, I would if I could. But is it normal? Listen, this goes for anything electronic with the VA. Is it normal? Absolutely. All right. Don't expect extremely fast turnarounds. Before freaking out, I would give it a solid 30 days. Now, I'm wondering what you would want to see from VBMS specifically that would prompt you to make a decision. Maybe you want to see like CMP exam results, a DBQ from that CMP exam, whatever that looks like. But I'll tell you the truth, your VSO is not supposed to show it to you. They're certainly not supposed to print it off for you. But if they have the time and you're in person, they will absolutely hook it up for you if they can. Vanessa, ask away, okay? Ask away. And you know that you can always send me an email. You don't have to do a super chat, but I thank you very, very much. Let's scroll down and talk to Vanessa real quick. Okay. Vanessa, ask your question if you haven't already, unless I missed it. Ask it down below, and then we can I'll scroll down here in a few minutes and see what you said. All right. LG, if received is 0% for an SMC granted, will they be back pay? On 7/12, what's today? What is today? Yep. Yeah. Yes, the effective date. So you'll see your effective date, LG, and if it is 7/12/2022, you'll have back pay from it won't be August, it'll be September, which is August's payday. So it'll be from September to June of this year, and then you'll start receiving. So you can do the math on that if you want, but the answer is yes. Short answer. All right, Scrap Guy. Hey, I see you. You always comment and like my videos. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right, guys, like the stream, like my videos. As always, like the videos. Okay, Scott Mole, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let's scroll down. All right, it's there below. I don't see, Vanessa, I don't see your question unless I'm going crazy. All I see is Vanessa with the super chat. I see Red Dog, Shallon, Jamie, and then I see this. So feel free to type it again, and I will definitely look at that. I'm not going to miss this question, that's for sure, especially after super chat. No way in the world would I miss this question. Unless it's this one. Dr. Sharma wants me to file secondary IBS and fibro to my mental health, rated 70% for that. Any thoughts? Second, or on this too secondary to process? Yeah, so on your Pact Act criteria, Vanessa, the IBS isn't needed, right? Especially if you have a current diagnosis and you do meet Pact Act timeframes. That's the way you go. Stormvet, I see you. I'm gonna get back to you. I was thinking about you the other day, actually. But yeah, I will say this. Just ask him, if he wants to do the IBS thing and it's going to be roped in together, that's completely okay, especially if there's a DBQ with that. But it's absolutely not needed, and I definitely wouldn't pay extra for that by any means. And you can obviously let him know, just be straight up saying, hey, I wasn't aware that I could do this under Pact Act. I would like to retract this, and I'm sure he would be down for that. Let him know soon, though, so that way you kind of save him some heartache. on that. Okay, I think that was your question, Vanessa. If it's not, just type it below and I will get to it on my live. Okay. And Storm Vet, let's go down to Storm Vet. Storm Vet, I was thinking about you the other day. Send me an email if you can with an update to your claims. I'm hoping you're at 100. Okay. But I just want to have a pulse on that because I know we were kind of going back and forth there for a while. I'm expecting big things, good things. Okay. To me, it's crazy that the VA can prescribe you medication for something without putting a diagnosis in your record. They shouldn't be allowed to do that. Hey, VA healthcare is a whole other beast. You know, there's tons of Congress videos on YouTube where veterans are speaking to Congress. This one lady speaks to Congress. She has a bag with her and she pulls out like 12 or 15 different medications that the VA gave her, saying that her argument was basically like, hey, you know, we're just kind of giving out medications and not really looking at true treatment. Now, that is, you know, I don't have the right to comment on whether you should or shouldn't take medication. That's completely up to you and your choices. But yeah, it's not a perfect system. I think we can all recognize that. Absolutely. Okay. Tia Moore. How does the VA, you know, I answer questions when my throat gets a little parched. How does the VA determine if they will rate some of your claims and defer others as opposed to waiting to rate them all at one time? Yeah, so time becomes a huge factor. And just as you put it, right, if it's an MST claim. So basically when we see deferred claims, I want to make this very, very clear. Deferred claims do not indicate that your claim is good or bad at all. It just means that, hey, you submitted 20 claims, the VA has decided on 10. Instead of holding these hostage, so to speak, let's give you the rating now. We'll do these later. And so that's what that will look like. Now, there's tons of factors that go into that, Tia. But generally speaking, I mean, you hit it right on the nail with the MST. That would be a great example of a claim being backlogged and taking longer than most because of that. Okay, I'm going to scroll down one more time just to make sure Vanessa is taken care of. Let's see. I think she is. All right. If not, the floor is still yours. Let me know. Okay. As a Pact Act veteran, when is the deadline I can file? I intend to file on that August 9th. Let's just call it August 8th to be safe. Okay. August 8th of this year, you want to get your intent to file in for any Pact Act claims. And if you have the evidence, you know, feel free to shoot that now. And when I say evidence, I mean current diagnosis. All right. Genius Never Dies. Great content. Do you do one-on-one consultations? I do. I have a really old school banner that I need to update because I made this when I first started. But there it is. There's the banner. I'll update this at some point in my life. You can see my emails up here. I do one-on-ones for free. Everything I do, guys, is for free. All I ask if you do show up to a one-on-one is that you actually show up, right? Preferably on time. You would be surprised at how many people simply just, you know, no show, no call, no show, which sucks. But hey, now in their defense, in some of them defense, I've missed 3 meetings on accident. And I am crush myself anytime I do that. So I try to minimize that as much as possible. But the answer is yes. I guess you didn't need a backstory on that. Okay. Ed Jenkins says, filed in March, had a CMP exam 30 days later. Back, nothing for PTSD. Okay. Had 25 years of post-traumatic stress diagnosis and current treatment. Called VA, was told my case was put in queue and not been assigned to a rater. All right. March. My brain works slow. So March, February, March, April, May, June, July, 4 months. Hey, it's not bad. Okay. Did you have a CMP exam for mental health? regardless, you have the evidence. It's looking pretty good, as according to this comment here. I'm making a lot of assumptions. But was the CMP exam for mental health? If so, just let it ride out, man. Lavada Davis, sorry. Suggestions for obtaining medical records. We have request them using the standard form, congressional request, FOIA, etc. We have the C file, but no medicals. Yeah, so a C file is Barney style. Whatever the VA used to decide on your claims, and usually your service treatment records will be in there, and your VA medical records, that will be a part of your C file. And so if you have that, I would wonder why that's not in there. Okay. Send me an email. I want to ask you some questions on that. TheCivDiv@gmail.com. TheCivDiv@gmail.com. But absolutely. G Malone, thank you. I've heard about this. I watched a stream about the automation process. I'm not too far up to speed on this. Hard to project how quickly any issue be decided. Yeah, so there's an automated system that is supposed to, and to my knowledge, which is very little, supposed to speed up the VA's intake process, if you will, and kind of file and sort claims out, get the evidence that's needed. I wonder if there's like AI or machine learning involved with that. I want to know what that automated process looks like. But that's probably some VA stuff. But absolutely. Okay, let me just last check for Vanessa. I want to make sure that everything is going on for Vanessa. Okay, I think Vanessa's good. Yep, Vanessa's good. Okay. Let me go back up to where we were. All right, here we go. Ed Evie. Well, hold on. Orange Remediation, brother, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let me scroll down to see if you have a question that you want me to answer. Text team, the troops confirmed and continued. Yeah, so Orange, I will be meeting you shortly, okay? And I'll give you more details on that once I do. Now, I am going on a beach vacation next week. So I'm going to try to get this done sooner rather than later, Orange, and help you out as best I can. Let me go back to where we were, and then we can, if I can find where we were at. This is the hardest part of the live stream, is just keeping a pulse on where we were at. Okay, we were there. We were here. Ed Jenkins says, nope, we were there. We were there. We were there. 5 times 5 means loud and clear to your question. Thank you. I appreciate it. I did not know that. I feel like I should know that. That's not a common Marine Corps thing. Unless it is, then I'm just completely ignorant to all of that whole process. But yeah, okay. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'll remember that next time. Jordan Brown, thank you. I appreciate that. I hope I helped you. All right, Proverbs Home. Just had that and found out that I have a hernia and GERD. I'm taking meds for non-service connected condition that causes GERD. Do I have legacy and on-file claim? If you meet Pact Act criteria, file the claim for GERD. Okay, absolutely. As far as do you have a leg to stand on, if you're not Pact Act, if you don't fall within Pact Act, send me an email with what you're currently service connected for. Anxiety has a very strong correlation to GERD. It's very, very strong. And so you could probably go down that route if that is you, but definitely feel free to send me an email. Is this possible? Yes, it's possible. To answer your previous, I had to go back and scroll up. All right, Fictionator, what's up? Welcome back to the stream. I'll let you know as soon as I have a decision on my claim. One more CMP exam, the 11th. Thank you very much. I wish you the best, and thank you for thanking me. I definitely appreciate that. Okay. Max says also filing all the claims we talked about on our last talk. Awesome. Okay. Nice entrenching tool. Yeah. I'm hoping we can get something going with that. All right. What's up, Clay? When I came out of the Corps in '83, we were debriefed on benefits or what the VA was. In fact, SRBs and 214s was completely foreign to us vets. We were just mud puppies. Yeah, man. The informant education line of effort from the VA and from transition assistance program, it's better, absolutely. It's not the bee's knees, I can tell you that, or at least it wasn't in 2019. But it's definitely a lot better. Can you work with 100% PTSD alone? Some say yes, some say no. So it depends what the question is. I'm going to assume the question is, can you work with 100% rating for PTSD? That answer is probably no. Okay. Let's say one scenario off the top of my head, if you had a permanent telework position, you had zero contact with people you worked with, you had a very flexible schedule that allowed you to telework on your own. Maybe in that scenario you could, but you're definitely not, walking, talking, and joking with your coworkers, because 100% PTSD rating, it's a serious mental illness. It's an SMI, very, very serious. And if that's you, that sucks. Definitely seek the healthcare. That's definitely not something you want. But yeah, that's the answer. All right. Talked about that. All right. 6 month. Yep. Thank you for that. I'm definitely going to dig into that. He said, yeah, I'm here. Had to Google easel. Sorry. Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah. We had the butlers dig the holes. Oh, okay. Yeah. To place your tent, Speedbug. Right. All right. Yeah. All right. Star X says, get back to some questions here. Can I file secondary disability to a secondary disability that I'm about to claim at the same time? You can. All right. Most people would advise against it. And depending on your evidence, I would probably lean that way too. Now, if you have the evidence and it's very strong, then go ahead and submit them. That's fine. You should expect a delay on that claim, because they have to not only verify that your first secondary condition is service connected, but then they have to go through your second secondary condition. All right. I have SCD back and want to file depression to that. Also, depression meds cause them TMJ. Yeah, you can. The medication causing TMJ is a bit sketchy just by looking at many denials for that. But yes, you absolutely can. All right. Mac, another question. All right. This is the place to be. In 2014 deployment, I complained about leg pain the month after I separated from active duty. Okay. I went my personal doc for my leg pain. I was diagnosed with flat feet, part 1, which means it's a part 2. Let's go to part 2. Okay. And chronic shin splints. So flat feet and chronic shin splints after your deployment in 2014. I've been seeing if doctors since 2014 till present can leg pain, flat feet, should I file leg pain direct service and flat feet secondary? No. File both direct. Why would you do either of those secondary? Because from here, you're saying that you were diagnosed with flat feet after your deployment. You have records of that. You have continuous care. And then you were diagnosed chronic shin splints. Absolutely. I don't know why you would file leg pain. I would just do shin splints and flat feet specifically, unless you're talking about another service-connected or another condition with leg pain, like radiculopathy or something like that. Okay, just depends. All right. Let me make sure my wife doesn't yell at me. And we're doing pretty good. Okay. Derek Black says at 70% for PTSD and a few other things, but I'm 90 altogether. Can't get to 100. Thinking about filing for TIUs is a good idea. It's kind of an impossible question for me to answer, Derek. Everyone's situation is unique in its own. If you did want me to answer this in depth, send me an email with what your service is connected for, what you've been denied for, and then we can go ahead and talk from there. Also want to know your years of service and your major deployments. Maybe there's some Pact Act stuff you're missing. I don't know. And it also depends if that 90% is 86 or if it's a 94. Those are two very different ratings. And I definitely want to get a pulse on that prior to saying, yeah, go TDIU, because that is a constraint on your life. And so I don't know what your situation is or what you want out of your life, but you might want to look for that. The reduction letters for PTSD and TBI is 70-0. They were not messing around with your brother. I think it was your brother missing that routine future exam. Yeah, so you're going to want to get evidence to combat that. The part that sucks is that he completely missed that. I'm assuming, here's what I'm assuming, and it's probably correct. Correct me if I'm wrong. From when he was given the rating, he did not seek healthcare at all. He had a routine future exam probably 2 years out, missed it, and now what the VA sees is, hey, there's no continuity of care. He missed a routine future exam, 0%. Especially for PTSD and TBI, it just depends. I would definitely start combating that. You can get I forgot what it's called specifically. I think you can get a 60-day extension, let's just call it that, for that to go ahead and gather your evidence. Right? But Jordan Brown, definitely send me an email. You might want to look at a DBQ for that. Okay. VA combined my cervical and lumbar strain for 20%. Now they have scheduled me ACE exam, lumbar strain. They said it was acute. Yeah, it sounds a bit right. You can absolutely get, so cervical guys think neck, upper back. So if this was my back, upper, lumbar, lower. And so your range of motion, right, from your hips and your lower back to your neck can be two different ratings. They generally are. I've actually never seen them combined. I could be wrong. They generally are. It sounds like a clear unmistakable error. So you should expect two different ratings, assuming that your cervical and lumbar are both service connected. All right. Ed Jenkins says, keep going, almost down to my question. Thanks. Yeah, I think I got it. Yeah, people, a lot of veterans hop on. They hop on and ask questions off the bat, so I kind of get backlogged here. Okay. Let's keep going. We're almost down to the bottom, actually. So let's see if we can reach the bottom before the stream ends. It is 9:22. All right. Great things are coming your way, Clay. We're going to run these for-profit companies. Secret sauce, you have no idea. So I'll give you all a tidbit. I don't want to give you too much information. I have contacted a firm who has the mission of helping veterans go on the attack against companies like Veterans Guardians and VA Claims Insider and other companies like that. And I'm looking forward to speaking with them. I hope they get back with me this week. If they don't, it'll be next week. And it's a law firm. And so I'm going to try to work that. Everything I do with them is going to be free because that is directly in line with my mission, well, my goals. And my mission is just to simply inform and educate veterans. Right. And if we can disrupt the market against for-profit companies, y'all know what it is. I don't care who talks crap about me. I don't care. I'm going after for-profit companies. I'm going after, dudes in their basement that charge $100 for memberships. They're all slimy. I don't like them at all. I think it's a bad practice to capitalize on benefits. Right? YouTube revenue is a bit different. If you're saying, hey, give me $100 and I'll give you, what I pulled off of Google. Come on, that's kind of wild. Okay. I can go on and on about that. I will get off that box right now. Thanks for replying to my email. Hey, thank you for sending it. Thank you for contacting me. I appreciate it. Can you work if you're 100% PTSD? Some say we answered that one. What's Vera? I see Vet's talking about it. Don't know what it is. Yeah, so Vera stands. Well, hold on. The wife texted me. Red Solo Cups. Okay. VERA stands for something. I'll tell you what it stands for. Veterans Equitable Resource Allocation. And so often you'll see, let's get this back up. Often you'll see, duty to assist errors and stuff like that with that. Orange, I am meeting you. So actually, guys, I'm meeting Orange in person. And so I'll be helping you sort through your stuff. I'll help you out. Okay. Garrett, the VA combined my cervical and lumbar strain. Yep, got that one. Yep. Awesome, Jordan. Okay. Farmhouse hens, poly, DDD, disc bulge, spinal stenosis, knee, right hip. None of it's service connected. Okay. I had tons of questions on this one. And, one of the common misconceptions too, which is ironic because I talked about it today in the video I uploaded, is veterans have this conception that they go to VA healthcare, they get all these diagnoses, they get treatment, and then they assume that what they get treatment for should be service connected, which is not the case by any means. You still need to, submit the claim. The healthcare system is not going to do it for you. On top of that claim, you still need to prove it came from service. And so if all of these did come from service, you're going to need the in-service event. What does your in-service complaints look like? Do you have diagnosis? Were you on physical therapy during your service? From the time you got out to now, what does your continuity of care look like? Has it been continuous and chronic? Do you have a current diagnosis? I assume you do because you wrote all these up there. And then third, the biggest one is, what is CMP examiner, preferably, or provider, be able to make the connection saying, hey, all of this stuff is related to service. So you need the in-service event, the current diagnosis, and the nexus. And VA healthcare really has nothing to do with all those. All right. Jack of trades. I'm wanting to submit combat and non-combatant stressors not mentioned in CMP exam from 17 under legacy. Should I submit under AMA or legacy? Now, this is like a board question, right? You're definitely knee deep in appeals here. I'll tell you this, man. One, question, are you working with an attorney? Two, whatever evidence you have, you want to get it into the hands of the VA, right? Absolutely. Now, this is since 2017, so I would assume you're coming up. 6 years, dude. Yeah, definitely depends. Okay. Robert Miller, much love to CivDiv and to all my fellow vets. Now, who knows how retroactive back pay is calculated, or is there a formula figuring it out? Robert, there are calculators you can Google for this on back pay. Just remember that the VA pays in arrears, right? And so if you were, for some reason, banking on this, a good rule of thumb is whatever you think it's going to be, just take 1 month out. It'll probably be that. But there are back pay disability calculators that you can use. All right, Veterans Advocates, it says on migraine logs, supporting statements, look at Clay's prior video as VA recently updated DBQ to take out 50% questions since it's more. Yeah, absolutely. All right, Rob Miller, Hill and Ponton have a good back. Absolutely. There you go. Boom. Ponton. Yep. I got autocorrect's killing this scene. Okay. Chow Libopay. All right. Hey, one, I love your name. All right, Chow Libopay. Just got 100% P&T. Congrats to you. If some of my disabilities have improved, can VA PCM take away? So not your primary care at all. But if your evidence shows significant improvement and the VA, I'll tell you this, if you give VA benefits a reason to look at your disabilities, like if you file an SMC or something like that, and you show significant improvement, the answer to that question is yes. That sucks. Okay. So be very, very careful. Tread lightly. All right. Behind closed doors, I'm at 90% rating at present, and I have about 10 claims pending. Okay. VBA said I qualify for TDIU, so file the claim with priority processing. Request denied, tinnitus, hearing loss. Cataract. Yeah, I mean, a lot of veterans qualify for TDIU. The question is, should you file for TDIU or not? So you have 10 claims pending right now. Is that at 86%? Is it a 94%? What kind of 90 is that? Tons of questions I have. Definitely send me an email behind closed doors, and we can talk more in depth onto your current situation. Do you know how long it takes to get your rating when using BDD claims? Yeah, no one can answer this question for you. I actually love this question because it's the same no matter what. No one on this planet can answer this question at all. Now, theoretically, you're supposed to leave service, get your rating, and on the next first, receive your disability check. Now, depending on what you claim, what your evidence is, regional centers, if you're doing skill bridge and you go from California to somewhere on the East Coast, right? All of that stuff comes into play. So it just really depends. No one can give you an answer. I know that sucks. I'll say this as a planning factor. Let's just call it 4 months after you leave service. So you're ETS or EAS. I would plan on not having disability for 4 months. And so now you can take that assumption and then take that as you plan for the next chapter of your life. Okay, and I hope that helps. There you go. No routine future exams. Okay. Speaking of showing up, I canceled mine. Hey, if you canceled, that's completely okay. But you canceled. Your lawyer told me something that wasn't true. Okay. USMC Big B, send me an email, dude. Send me an email. We can probably set something up. And that goes for everyone else, right? If you want a one-on-one, it's absolutely free. I just ask that you show up. And if you don't, or if you can't show up, then cancel it. I would appreciate that. Okay. I'm definitely appreciate this. I will educate myself very, very soon. Okay. Fernando da Silva. I know I butchered that. I'm sorry. Do you have access to dermatologists for Nexus letters? No, I do not. But I will say a lot of skin conditions are rated at 0%. So I would caution on getting one in the first place. Now, if you have a condition like dermatitis that won't go away and it's on a large portion of your body, that would probably constitute, you getting an opinion, assuming you've been denied. But I don't have a dermatologist that I could, in good conscience, recommend you. BBA stated at least 10 of my claims are presumptive, then turned right around and denied the claim when requested. Yeah, so definitely send me an email because I want to know what those 10 claims are. That's a lot to have presumptive. But definitely let me know. We'll probably look at decision letters for that. And I'm assuming the 10 claims you talked about earlier were the ones that have been denied. So we'll definitely explore that in an email. Let me know. I'm P&T and do a mix of private care and VA care. I keep all my private medical records just in case. There you go. Perfect example. Even someone who's P&T is seeking care, as you should. Okay. Bro, is IBS really Pact Act related? I have colonoscopy scheduled this month after being open about some issues, and stool sample was deployed to Iraq. Thanks, bro. Yes, it can be. That's the thing. It can be. Okay. Not to confuse you, I'll keep it as simple as this: get a diagnosis, submit the claim. There's I think it's like gastrointestinal cancer is a part of it. Simple answer, yes. Okay. Yes, it is. It can be. All right. Jack of Trades, Legacy, or AMA to submit combat stressor. What is your current appeal in now? That's what I want to know. If you have a choice, not Legacy, that's the answer. Okay. So the new appeal system, whatever AMA stands for. Okay. Legacy, bad. Legacy, forever. AMA, not forever. That's like the dumbest way I can put it. Okay. What happened if I asked for an increase after 5 years? I will stop getting paid for my current compensation. No, not at all. I'm not sure where you got that from. If someone told you that, just don't listen to them. So if you put it in for an increase, no matter if you got that claim last year or 20 years ago, whenever you put in an increase, you're not going to stop receiving payment. This is not a thing. So for instance, if you're at 50% for mental health, you have a 50% overall rating, you put in for an increase, and it takes 6 months to get that decision. For those 6 months, you will be paid 50%. And in fact, if that decision results in an increase, you'll actually get back pay for those 6 months. And so that question is just simply no. It's tinnitus. I don't really know what that's in reference to, but yes. Okay. Move from Springfield. Okay. See, I knew you were around here. All right. Okay. Well, dude, I hope you're enjoying Japan. Is that Okinawa or mainland? I've been to Okinawa a few times, twice actually. Experiences may vary. I can't get a DBQ done for my lower back from any chiropractors. Where should I get one at? Yeah, I would never recommend a chiropractor for DBQ ever. In any circumstance, would I ever recommend that? Because chiropractors aren't. Chiropractors are not. I was reading what Veterans Advocates said. Yes. So the answer is yes. Okay. Chiropractors are not medical doctors. Now, I remember seeing a video, I'm not going to say by who, where someone was basically saying get DBQs done by chiropractors. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Don't do that at all. You're going to want a physician, preferably, a medical doctor, MD, okay? Now to answer your question, where can you get one at? So for this, and you're going to get different opinions, I will give you mine, okay? I am never going to recommend someone get an online telehealth DBQ for anything that's a physical condition like your lower back. Now, can you? Absolutely. You can go on Google and search. I would caution against that. If you were going to get one, I would look locally or somewhat locally. And so if you tell me what state you're at, I could probably help you out, at least guide you in the right direction to get an in-person DBQ for that. Send me an email because I'm going to have to do some research as to where one is around you. But by no means would I ever recommend you get a online musculoskeletal condition DBQ ever. Now, with that said, I'll defend the others I'm talking about. With that said, have people won claims with those? Absolutely. Okay, I'm just not going to recommend it. Red Dog, does the veteran receive back pay for a service-connected condition, which is compensable, but when calculated with their overall disability does not increase? No, right? And so basically what you're saying is if you're at 86% and now you get a back rating and it puts you at 92%, you're still at 90. So 86 is 90, 92 is 90. You're not receiving any back pay at all. The only time that would apply if it's like a SMC, like SMCK, then you can get back pay from the SMC. But no, if the rating remains the same, you don't get a nada. All right. Got denied in 03 for back and neck. VA claim resolved in service. File supplemental this year. Forgot I filed in 03 with current diagnosis, SCRs for both, and 20 years of some complaints. Okay. I am very glad to see you have continuous care or continuous complaints for that. That's great evidence, actually. I'd be curious to see what that actually is. The approval odds have CMP exam next week. There's no way I can answer this at all without looking at your evidence. But based off of this comment, and I'll give you my answer. Based off of this comment, you have a supplemental claim. You are combating the VA's decision, assuming that's the reason for denial directly, which is good. You have 20 years of complaints, of some complaints, which says same complaints. Okay, same complaints. Yeah, this is great. This is great evidence. So I think your odds are moderate to high, I'll say, without looking at evidence. Okay, I'm really taking your word for it. Know if we can submit videos as evidence through Quick Submit. I don't think so. On Quick Submit, it shows you what type of file is, well, I would show you on it, but there's personal information on Quick Submit, so I'm not going to pull that up on stream. But it shows you what files can be submitted through Quick Submit. I don't think so, though. I do not think so. All right. Thank you for all the good info. Thank you. Thank you for coming to the stream. I definitely appreciate it. Time's at 9:40. Let's see if we can get to the bottom. If I can make it. I just had an endo. We answered that one. Can you show an example of for hardship? I think you asked this for a similar question. An example for hardship form for issues paying bills due to service issues. Yeah, man, I would absolutely. So in cases like this, to show you an example, that's a great video idea, actually. I'm going to get on that. But for you, Seymour, go to your local VFW, go to somewhere with the VSO and let them know your situation. You're going to want to get that rolling. And the reason why I say go there is because so here in Virginia, in Northern Virginia, there's a ton of organizations that if I was homeless right now or at risk of hardship and I went to my VFW, they would connect me with another nonprofit resource and I could kind of tap into what they have to offer. That's why I'm saying go to somewhere like that, but absolutely. All right, Des Sanford, the 30% sinusitis and just filed a claim for migraine secondary to PTSD and tendonitis. The VA is processing it as sinusitis increase. These disabilities are both give headaches, but completely different. So the headaches are part of the sinusitis 38 CFR. Okay. And I think that is a 60% rating for, you know what? Let's go back to teaching you all how to fish. All right. So let's look up 38 CFR, ECFR, sinusitis. I know migraines is a part of, or headaches is a part of the sinusitis rating somewhere. Here we go. So you're at 30, right? Incapacitating episodes per year of sinusitis characterized by headaches. This is you. Pain, discharge. And so can you get a rating that will basically say, sinusitis with migraines? You'll see that a lot, actually. You'll see PTSD with migraines or TBI with migraines, TBI with vertigo, stuff like that. They can absolutely combine them. And if they do, it's probably looking like a 50% rating for that, especially if your evidence suggests that your migraines are a result of your sinusitis. But it is very common to see that. Okay. My deferred claim awaits 2 CMP exams. All right. Good luck to you. Yeah. There's no fighting to separate these. It's what your evidence tells. Okay. And so if you were to fight that, you would have to basically get an opinion. There's a few ways to do it. The best way to do it would be to get an opinion to separate them, saying that the symptoms can be differentiated apart from each other. But before you go and do that, a 50% rating for sinusitis with migraines is a solid rating. Okay. All right. Chris Drexler says, hello, Clay. Hello back. I'm 70% connected for static and for insomnia and have been having severe anxiety attacks. I was thinking of seeing the VA doctor, private physician. What's your opinion? Thanks. Yeah, absolutely. I'm never not going to recommend someone to not seek healthcare ever in my life. You are static. Your condition has gotten worse, or you have other conditions that have stemmed from this. I see zero indications here that your condition has improved. All right, I'm sure the VA will see the same. That's the problem with YouTube, right? Is telling people that their rating could be taken away, which is technically yes, but that's just simply not the case. And I think we fanned that fire way too hard, in my opinion. Okay. Got it. Thanks so much. Gonna email you in the morning. I'll show up for sure. Currently at 84% with several conditions that are clearly service connected or secondary. All right. Awesome. Looking forward to it. Dean Ann, we are. Every time I think we're at the bottom, we're not. Okay. Dean Ann Hansen says, I'm currently 70% awarded December 1st. Have filed an appeal to get TDIU back at the end of March. If I get approved TDIU, will they go back? No. Based off of what you have here, that answer is no. No, they will not. Based off what you have here. If there's any other information you have to this, let me know. But based off of this, that answer is no. Okay. Thank you. Kind of bummed I got into the chat and didn't pay attention and overcooked my steaks. Yeah, that definitely sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. Big B, my bad. Okay. Me. I have a diagnosis from a private doctor. I have nothing in my VA records. Can I file disability or just put my private doctor's diagnosis? And I have a month's worth of documentation. Well, you need three things, okay? You need the in-service event, which I'm assuming you don't have. You need a current diagnosis, which you do have. Then you need a nexus, which is connecting one thing to another. In this case, it would be your current diagnosis to military service. Now, the CMP examiner can do that for you, ideally. And so the real question I have is whatever your current diagnosis is, because it's not listed here, which you don't have to tell me. Whatever that is, what does your evidence from service look like? How long have you been out of the military? There's a few other questions I would ask, but feel free to send me an email. It is 9:47. We'll call it at 10 p.m. my time. And then we'll go ahead and dip out. What does unspecified mean? It just means, there's a mixture of diagnoses. They don't know what it stemmed from, where it came from specifically. And so you'll see like unspecified trauma saying, hey, it's not one thing specifically. Maybe it's a combination of a few things. Maybe it's a lot of things. Maybe they just don't know. How much does the woman associated with Del K. Graham charge for IMO and Nexus letters? I don't know. So they aren't. Del K. Graham locally in Oklahoma has a in-network provider list. Just depends on who you're talking about. And I want to say off the top, I don't know what lady you're talking about because there's a few. I want to say it's about, if you go through Del K. Graham, I would say 300. I'm trying to think of the chart in my head. A lot of them do say $300, which is relatively cheap. But yes. Okay. And Como talk, it's red. Yeah. 5x5. I'm just going to keep saying 25. All right. 5s and 25s. All right. Theoretical question. Okay. It's a good way to start one. If a link exists, say like between GERD and anxiety, can the reverse link be drawn? In other words, if you have anxiety and GERD and are rated for anxiety, would GERD be possible? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So when you look at anxiety causing GERD, There's also a third link that's usually there, which is IBS. And so it's very common to find anxiety, GERD, and IBS in veterans that have one of those. Not just veterans, in people. And people that have anxiety and GERD, generally speaking, will have IBS, right? It's the same system. All right. Can the VA make you go to a previous CMP examiner who previously gave you an unfavorable rating? The VA doesn't actually choose the CMP examiner. The company does. You can absolutely call that company. So let's say it's QTC. You can call them and request another examiner. You can say you can't make the appointment, whatever that looks like for you. But the VA doesn't force that function. It's the companies. Nick Kinney, what's up? I thankfully just got 60% after a month of fighting. Do you think I have a leg to stand on with alcohol disorder being primary and filing for neuropathy as a secondary for an increase? So there's absolutely zero information in this comment, Nick. Feel free to send me an email because I have tons. I can't answer this question. I have tons of questions for you. I want to know what your service is connected for. I want to know what you were denied. I want to know your years of service. I want to know what deployments you've been on. And then we can talk about neuropathy secondary to something, and then an increase for something. But you do have alcohol use disorder. I'm assuming there's some mental health stuff in there, which isn't rated. So there's probably a mental health aspect or disability to that alcohol use disorder. But alcohol use can kind of be an intermediate step to something else. Same thing with like obesity. So it depends. Awesome. Thank you. Makes sense. Thank you. Makes sense. Appreciate it. Red K Dog says I'm 100% PTSD, P&T, but also have 30% for gastro and 10 tinnitus. I get paid for the PTSD, but what happens to the other percentage? Absolutely nothing. So 100% is 100%. That's all you get, man. So yes, that's it. Jordan, did they shish? Yep. Okay. He's on a bunch of meds and separated less than a year ago. Oh, yeah. So you guys are going back. Okay. There was an earlier question from a vet about GERD. Pact Act, GERD is not a presumptive. It can be. That's the thing. It can be. Okay. The answer to that is probably yes. We have some back and forth here. Okay. G Malone, new question. As active duty, should I tell doc about tinnitus or can I wait? No. If you are active duty and listening to this stream, okay, all the evidence you could possibly get while you're in service is going to be your golden ticket to VA disability, right? The second that train leaves and you become a regular degenerate like the rest of us, VA disability becomes much more difficult, right? Especially after you've been out for over a year. And so if you are active duty, tell medical about everything. Now, don't be a malingerer, okay? I'm not advocating for that, but heck, if you've been in the service for 3.5 years, you're coming up on your last 6 to 9 months. Listen, you did your time. Still do your time. Focus on you. Focus on the next chapter of your life and prepare for what's next. All right, Tom Duro, smoke him if you got him. Okay, First Sergeant Ward sent me AWOL. Say call. I don't know what you're talking about. Will Martin says letter with med records. Let me make sure my wife didn't text me anything. Okay. Will Martin says letter with medical records say not to submit the copy since the VA already has the copy. Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of try to answer this if I understand the question. If I was to submit a claim for my lower back right now, I would go through my VA medical records, my service treatment records, and my private healthcare records if I had any. And I would basically take excerpts out of each of those files for any complaints on my lower back and submit those to the VA on Quick Submit in one file. And do they already have them? Yes. but I'm basically doing the gathering evidence stage for them. Okay. And so my answer to that would be yes, you can. Now, do you have to? No. I'm always going to recommend that you do. Or increases awards back paid to original claim when increase filed. When the increase is filed is when you'll receive back pay for that. As a mess sergeant, the maiden charge brigade. Of course that would happen. You know what? I'm almost at the bottom. I'll change my batteries, guys, and then we'll answer the last few questions, and then we will dip out of here. Changing battery now. All right. I swear to you, one day I will go to the store and buy the plug outlet thing. At some point. Okay. It's best to go schedule if you can. It gives the flexibility. Yes, absolutely. Talking about TDIU. Big Red. All right, let's see if there's another question. VA Claims Insider knows when the VBA will pay you. Yeah. That's funny. All right. Are migraines and hypertension under the same umbrella? No, they are not. Not at all. Okay. Not at all. You will receive 2 different ratings for those. I've actually never seen them connected. I don't know of a 38 CFR code that could connect those. But no, they are absolutely separate. Did you ever find out the VA will pyramid pancreas? Oh my goodness. Did you send me did I skip that? Did you send me an email or was it a comment? I think that was a comment. Just by reading that, I feel bad because I remember seeing that. I absolutely want you to send me an email, especially if I skipped over that. Okay. Pancreatic cancer. I know I commented. You know what? I did comment on that. Go see my comment. I want you to comment again on that because there's my YouTube notifications are just out of this world. So I'm not going to find it on YouTube. So let's just call you nihilistic orgasm. Okay. Comment on that thread that I commented back on. I know I answered your question. But I can give you more on that. All right. The expert says IBS is a type of functional. Yep. So, but Pact Act did expand the countries that regulation applies to. There we go. 3.317. The chat. Okay. Camp Zama, about 30 minutes from Camp Fuji. Oh, okay. Okay. It's cold. Cold. All right. The Global Vagabond. For secondary submissions, should I describe symptoms or attempt to state what I think the condition is? The VA didn't state what the issue was, that they just gave me lots of vitamins. Yeah, so ideally for a secondary, you're going to want a current diagnosis for that claim. All right. Shaolin, I will definitely get to that. I just saw that. Thank you very much. You're going to want a current diagnosis for that for sure. You're obviously going to want to describe your symptoms. I would caution you from diagnosing yourself, right? Which isn't a real thing in VA. We cannot diagnose ourselves. I don't care what anyone else tells you. Can't do it. You can describe your symptoms and allow the CMP examiner or your provider to do that. But yeah, we don't really do that. All right. Denied SMCK rater stated no SCR for ED. This is incorrect. This is Q. Denied 20 years ago. You'd have to prove that. Okay. Do you have the records from your STRs that state you have ED? That's my first question. My second question is, are there any medications that you're now taking that would cause ED? Third question is, do you have a current diagnosis? All right. MST question. Okay. Since I will answer this as best as I can, but you guys should know Stephanie. I had her on a stream. She is an MST survivor. She told her story. Actually, you know what? I will go ahead and link that in the chat. She told her story on stream. It was, it was a big moment for her. And so I'm definitely going to share that when I can. But I usually push MST stuff to her because she knows, she's just been through that process, right? So she knows that more than I do. And so there's that stream. Her story's at the beginning of the stream. So definitely take a peek at that when you have a chance. Will Pact Act secondary issues be back paid as well? Or is it only primary Pact Act claim? Yeah, you're not going to get, if you do sleep apnea secondary to sinusitis, you're not going to get back pay for sleep apnea. I got a drop. Thank you. Enjoy your well done steaks. Sorry about that. There we go. File types. Veterans advocate. Any way I can reach out to you. Yeah, send me an email. TheCivDiv@gmail.com. I don't charge for anything. I'm totally against that. I'll help you out as much as I can. I don't really know what Tom is talking about. Oh, because they took your pension. Yeah, Tom, hey, brother. Send me an email, okay? I will do the absolute best thing I can do for you, for sure. All right, Jordan Brown, 70% for insomnia, very high. It's hard to get above. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Especially when you look at severe insomnia, that's going to, like, if you're not sleeping, you're going to be irritable. You're going to have, that might cause you to have anxiety. That might cause you to be depressed. Insomnia over a period of time will absolutely make you go insane. Just want to say thank you for having this channel. Luis Flores, thank you. Thanks for coming to the stream. Thank you for commenting. I definitely appreciate that. I've been able to help 2 shipmates get 100%. Thank you for helping us help ourselves and others. That's what it's about. Train the trainers. If everyone watching this stream helped 1 veteran a month, that would be 12 times what we had, like 95 viewers in here at one point. I don't know what that math is, but my calculator does. Not that I'm a genius or anything. 12 times 95. That's 1,140 veterans. If 95 of us help 1 a month, and then that just scales up, right? Yeah, Jamie, absolutely. Reach out for sure. I will do my absolute best. Absolute best. All right, behind closed doors, administrative claim, a cardiac denied, so I have 6 months file. Federal court, okay. You're the one with the 10 claims that were denied, I believe. You asked about TDIU. Definitely send me an email. I definitely want to look at that. All right. Shaolin Funk, brother, thank you so much. I appreciate this. I hope I answered your question to the best of my ability, at least. And yeah, and Secret Sauce, we will end it. We will end it with you once I get down there. I definitely appreciate that. All right, Orange, thank you, Clay. Tell the wife and kids I said thanks for letting us borrow. Yeah, I will tell you this, guys. Anytime I'm down here in my little basement, recording or scripting or posting videos or live streams, my wife sometimes get a little angry with me. Luckily for her, I don't care. That's a joke. I do care. All right. U.S. Air Force Mike, for my migraine personal statement, do I need to actually write prostrating or just that I have to lay down in a dark room? I would personally stick with 38 CFR language. I would do both, okay? Talk about prostrating, then list out your symptoms. A migraine log is good to have. I would also include that in your statement. And remember, when it comes to statements, and again, this is a YouTube thing. YouTube made things worse, okay? When it comes to statements, I want everyone to hear me here. Your statements support your evidence, all right? It's not in lieu of. And so whatever you have going on with your migraines and your migraine log, make sure you talk to your provider about that. So that way that becomes evidence. So your statements support your evidence, and your statements can give a bit more insight into what that actually looks like. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm trying to get off, but I can't not answer questions. Tom says, do you have an answer to one of my questions? Tom, send me a question prior to me hopping off here, and I will answer that. All right. I'll scroll to the bottom. I don't see a question that you asked for. I do see about 50 chats. But none of them have a question with that. I'm looking back up, and I don't see a question from you at all. I know you have an MST question, but there's no question. You didn't ask a question. And so that definitely let me know. All right, bro. Thank you. Everything tonight. I needed this. Reach out. Yeah, absolutely. LG, longtime fan show. I definitely appreciate that. I went from taking sumatriptan pills for 3 years to being prescribed injections monthly. Currently 30%. What this warning increase? You know what? Prior to leaving, I will actually show you what that looks like. 38 CFR, ECFR, migraines. Pop this open, look up migraine. I spelled it wrong because I am big dumb. Here we go. So you were here with characteristics prostrating attacks occurring on average once a month over the last several months. I hate this ambiguous language right here. I don't like it. 50% would be with very frequent, completely prostrating, that's the key word there, and prolonged attacks productive of severe economic inadaptability. And so based off of your comment that you have, I would say no. It's definitely not a clear yes. Being prescribed injections for monthly for migraines. I'm currently 30%. So unless you have completely prostrating migraines, and without an injection, you basically can't function, then I would say yes. It just depends what that looks like. Oh yeah, there we go. See, yeah, Veteran Advocate knows Steph and her crew. Definitely check them out, especially for MST. What's the best place to get a Nexus letter for GERD? Okay, 1, if you fall under Pact Act, I would say nowhere. All right. 2, if you don't, it depends what it's for. Is it secondary to mental health? Because then you would want a psychiatrist. Is it secondary to something else? Then you would want like a pulmonologist, for instance. It just really depends. As long as your symptoms cause economic inadaptability, there you go. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Cliff. All right, you're the best. You're the best. I appreciate that. All right, thanks, Clay. I appreciate the stream. Go spend time with your family. I absolutely will. And here we are with the last question. I want to make sure that Tom doesn't ask a question that I did not see. I don't see you, Tom. So how is GERD presumptive? Yeah, under the same thing as IBS. That's how. It's under Pact Act. That's a short answer. I'm trying to get off stream here, so I apologize for that. All right, secret sauce. Take it. Send me an email. I will answer that. Take a shot of that behind you right now. No questions asked. It's the 4th of July, bro. I will do that when the stream ends because last time we did that, YouTube demonetized my stream. So I will do that for you. You have my word. All right. You get a prayer. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Behind closed doors. Thank you. I hope I helped you. I definitely want you to send me an email. I know you had a complicated situation there. Angela, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Tom. Thank you very much. Cliff, thank you. Everyone, thank you. Straw claims have personal statement, but buddy letters. Depends. All right. Thank you very much. Guys, it was a great stream. Appreciate it. Thank you for all who came. Thank you, Veterans Advocate, for helping me out, answering questions. I definitely appreciate that. And to all, have a happy 4th of July. And, you know, we're in America. We're free. Let's live free. Take advantage of our benefits. Thank you very much. And I'll end this with this awesome, amazing video we have here. And once I pull it up, here we go. All right. Thank you very much.
Whiskey 9 Yankee, 7 November Golf, over. Whiskey 9, 7 November, interrogative Alpha Bravo. Negative Alpha Bravo. And this is 7 November Golf, Roger. Request you check your Romeo side. I'll go ahead and check my Tango side. 7 November Golf out. November 8-5, and 8-5, 7 November, say again. 7 November, go. I copied a while ago, 1 Charlie transmission that my thing used,
November Golf, 1 Charlie Delaware.
And 8-5, this is 7 November, Charlie. 8-5 right now. Now 1 Charlie, 7 November, go.
This is 1 Charlie, in reference to your last, you're Brandon 158, extra 5 stops, 1200 between teams and local. Also request your unit take extra records to see if we can try to get Whiskey 9 and 8 for pause at the playground.
And this is 7 November, Roger, stand by.
Got that.
Got it? Alright. And all units, this is 7 November Golf. My unit Alpha, Echo, X-ray Alpha Alpha in there.
One Charlie, Alpha Bravo.
Hey, I never took a dip. I forgot to take a dip.
Whiskey 9, 7 November, interrogative Alpha Bravo. Whiskey 9 Yankee, 7 November Golf, over. This is Whiskey 9 Golf. Whiskey 9, 7 November, interrogative Alpha Bravo. Whiskey 9 Yankee, 7 November Golf, over. This is Whiskey 9 Golf. Whiskey 9, 7 November, interrogative Alpha Bravo. Negative Alpha Bravo. And this is 7 November Golf, Roger. Request you check your Romeo side. I'll go ahead and check my Tango side. 7 November Golf out. November 8-5, and 8-5, 7 November, say again. 7 November, go.